Good evening, Mr. Mayor. We are live.
Very good. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the November 7, 2023 City Council regular hybrid meeting. I'm Mayor Salim Neese. This evening's hybrid City Council meeting is being brought to you by Zoom. We're also broadcasting on the city's YouTube channel. Due to equipment failures, we're unable to broadcast on MITV channel 21 and welcome anyone wishing to watch the meeting live to join us on the city's YouTube channel or via Zoom. Welcome to all and thanks for joining us tonight. Council members, please have your microphones turned on for the roll call. City Clerk Andrea Larson, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Andral.
Here.
Councilmember Jacobson.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Weicker. Here. Councilmember Weinberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum.
Here.
And Mayor Neese.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Council, please mute and turn off your video to ensure that the U.S. flag is visible. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. We now move to approval of tonight's agenda. If there's no questions, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Weicker, seconded by Councilmember Reynolds. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Jacobson.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum.
Aye.
Councilmember Weicker. Aye. Councilmember Andral.
Aye.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Aye.
Councilmember Weinberg.
Aye.
And Mayor Neese.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor.
All right, motion passes. The agenda is adopted. First off tonight, we have a study session on AB 6370, preview of the declaration of intent for seeking reimbursement for water infrastructure improvements, for which we welcome Finance Director Matt Mornick. Welcome, Matt.
All right. Good evening, City Council, members of the, good evening, Mayor, City Council, and City Manager Bond. Okay, please let me know when you can see my opening slide.
Got it.
All right. This afternoon, I'm going to go through 10 slides, beginning with the water utility in relation to the capital improvement program. I'm going to then provide an overview of the financing strategy designed by staff in close consultation with the city's utility board and how this tool called a declaration of intent adds flexibility in how we manage cash flow needs to pay for water infrastructure projects. I'm joined by Jason Kittner, Patrick Yamashita, and Clint Morris from the Public Works team, Deputy Finance Director Luan Tuttle, along with Deanna Gregory, the city's bond counsel and partner from Pacific Law Group. We will have time at the end of the slides for questions. And before I get started, I want to thank Patrick Yamashita, Deputy Public Works Director, and Clint Morris, the Capital Division Manager. We have been working closely on managing the water fund's cash flow as capital project work progressed through the summer and fall of this year. And Patrick and Clint had a major hand in the timing and the overall financing strategy that we're going to cover this afternoon. If you live on Mercer Island, you likely have an extensive working knowledge of how the island gets water. By the way of background, the city owned and operated water distribution system serves mostly the entire island. And this includes over 7,800 customer accounts. The system entails about 121 miles of pipeline, 2 4 million gallon water storage tanks, and 2 pump stations. The primary water sources include the Cedar River and the Tolt River watersheds. And we purchased that water from Seattle Public Utilities. The water system is in a period of major reinvestment, given many critical components are reaching the end of their useful life. In the current 6-year planning period, staff has identified critical infrastructure improvements for the water utility that amount to about $52 million. The timeline illustrates how this figure compares to 4 prior biennial budgets in which staff outlined capital improvement projects and estimated costs for the water utility. And so when you look at that timeline, you can see that in general, system reinvestment needs have grown significantly over the past few years. This chart illustrates the projected $52 million of capital costs spread out between 2023 and 2028 for the water utility as outlined in the current capital improvement program. The pie chart in the top left breaks down how we plan to use cash and debt financing to cover these anticipated costs. Which leads to the elephant in the room when facing a capital program of this magnitude, which is, how do we pay for all of this? Well, the short answer is we pay for it with revenues from both current and future water customers. Historically, the city's capital financing strategy has been to use revenues from current water utility customers on a pay-as-you-go basis for needed improvements. This approach has served the city well during periods of routine maintenance and reinvestment. When we enter into a period where many expensive system improvements need to take place at the same time, we use debt financing. And we do this because it spreads out the costs incurred in a relatively short period over the useful life of the infrastructure that is being upgraded. Not only does debt financing help avoid spikes in year-over-year adjustments to the water rates, it also creates generational equity, which is where multiple generations of ratepayers who benefit from these investments help pay down the associated costs. In October, the Utility Board unanimously approved a water utility rate adjustment of 8% for 2024. And this rate recommendation is part of a multi-year strategy of smooth year-over-year rate increases, which began this year and is projected to continue through 2028. With these annual rate adjustments, we meet all of the water utility's financial obligations on a standalone basis, which means the water fund pays for all water utility needs. This includes costs to operate the utility, to pay for long-term capital investments, along with the principal and interest payments associated with debt financing. At the next City Council meeting in November, staff will bring a resolution for Council's approval that declares the city's intention to reimburse itself for costs incurred on qualifying water capital projects prior to the date of an upcoming bond issuance. This is what the Internal Revenue Service refers to as a declaration of intent. Next year, we expect to issue $16 million of limited tax general obligation bonds. This declaration of intent essentially extends the timeframe to use bond proceeds from 3 years to 4.5 years. This additional time may not seem like that big of a deal, but it really is when so many large capital improvement projects are either in the beginning stages or are already underway. This table is from the agenda bill, and it outlines the anticipated timeframe for each of these 6 active and large water utility capital projects. Green signifies the design phase of the project, while blue indicates the construction phase. Each year is at the top of the table, divided into the first 6 months and the latter 6 months of the year. If the City Council were not to issue the declaration of intent, then the window to spend bond proceeds from limited tax general obligation bonds, if we received it, say, in June 2024, is between July 2024 through June 2027, as indicated by this pink box. Adoption of a declaration of intent extends this time frame, allowing staff to recoup all the design and engineering costs going back to January 2023, along with expenses related to construction or hard costs dating back 60 days from the date of the declaration. Both the water reservoir improvement and the water system improvements capital projects, the top 2 rows of this table, began major capital work at the end of this summer. And so we are bringing the declaration of intent to the City Council mid-November to capture the construction invoices resulting from that work within the 60-day window, which in this case includes invoices paid as of mid-September of this year. It's worth noting that should circumstances change, the declaration does not obligate the city to issue bonds. Okay, with that, I'll stop sharing and open it up for any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Matt. Council, are there any questions? Councilmember Androl.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Matt, for that succinct presentation. It all makes good sense to me. The only question that I have is, given that the last project is scheduled to complete at the end of the time when we could spend the money, and construction projects tend to go long rather than finish early, are we giving ourselves enough time? I mean, I'm nervous that the pink line lines up with the end of the last blue box.
We share that concern. We are trying to be as strategic as possible. We've been talking about this for years. Timing a bond issuance is really important. I'll let Jason Kittner, Chief of Operations, speak to that question.
Good evening, Councilmember Randall. That's a great question. And I will tell you, the finance team and your public works team are working closely regarding all of these projects. And we timed this issuance so that we would hit that sweet spot with all of these projects. So understand that it pushes up against the end of the time frame. We're all well aware of that, and we're going to make sure that we work to hit those targets and not have it carry beyond it. So usually our construction window is usually in that, summer to early fall window of the primary construction. Then we wrap the projects up in fall into winter. And so nevertheless, our team will work efficiently and effectively to make sure that we meet those targets and finish the projects on time.
Very good. Council, any other questions? Councilmember Weinberg.
Yeah, you mentioned that about a third of the funding for these projects is likely to come from cash reserves. Is there any portion of that is coming from what is left of the ARPA funding?
We used ARPA funding to kick off a lot of the design and engineering work for a handful of these projects that you saw. But right now, there's no additional allocation of the remaining ARPA funds for the water utility.
Okay, if I can ask a follow-on question, or
Go for it.
Yeah, is there any risk of the ARPA funding expiring if we don't use it for this?
We're tracking very closely the total balance for the remaining ARPA funds. Per the final rule from the U.S. Department of the Treasury, we are allowed to obligate the funds as of December 2024 and spend down any remaining funds through December 2026. And so I can assure you that we have no shortage of needs, and we are going to track very closely to make sure that all of those funds are expended.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Yes, from what I understand from my earlier question, about 6% of the water system is the AC pipe. How much of this will be still left as AC when we're done? And are we replacing all of it, or just some portion of that 6%?
I'm going to ask Patrick and Clint to pop on the screen too, but I will just say that the first question, or the short answer is, during the last budget cycle, we added this new AC pipe replacement program to our capital program. And the goal was to replace all AC pipe within that 6-year capital window. And I believe they're all going to fit within this. And Patrick, you can confirm that, but I believe they all fit within this time frame. But the goal is to see everything, all the AC pipe replaced within that 6-year window.
Just to clarify, for the record, Patrick Yamashita, Deputy Public Works Director, there will be 2 more segments that would have to be done outside of this window. That would be in 2027 and 2028. But the majority of those 5 miles would be taken care of within this window.
Thanks, Patrick.
And just a follow-up question that I think I asked when we discussed something similar a year ago, but I want to have my memory refreshed. The A in AC pipe makes me very nervous, but there is no safety implications from that. Is that your understanding? If this is more a durability consideration?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Very good. Any other questions, council? Not seeing any. Well, thank you, Matt and staff, for bringing that to us, and we will see you shortly on that topic later in the month.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, moving on. We have the city manager's report, for which we'll welcome City Manager Jesse Bond.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. We had some file issues with this document about 30 minutes ago, so I think Casey is online and we've rescued it. There it is. Great news. All right. Happy Election Day, everyone. It is Tuesday, November 7th, and I've got a shorter deck for you tonight, just a few quick updates. Next slide, please. Just a reminder for anyone watching from home, City Hall, our City Hall building is permanently closed. And if you're wondering how to reach us for any issues, we are encouraging everyone to just go directly through our customer service team. I'll include this slide in this deck every meeting. We'll also continue to put the word out on social media and our other communications platforms. Customer service works Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. They are easily reached by phone or email. And if they can't answer your question directly, they will get you connected to a team member that can assist. Next slide. I can't even believe it's November. Here we are. I thought we were going to the meeting slide, but one more quick update on the City Hall closure. Go ahead. Sorry, Casey, go back. Just wanted to let you know that we are making progress on the Slater Room improvements. The Slater Room is here at the community center. That is where we will be moving our city council meetings to due to the closure of City Hall. Council, we replaced the carpet this last week, and we've got painting yet to do. Next week, we're doing all of the technology work in the room, and we'll be moving some equipment in. So we're close. I'm not going to say for sure the date will be ready to go live with in-person meetings again, but we're really close. Also, we have finalized the lease agreement and the interlocal agreement for the Newcastle City Hall facility. That is where the Mercer Island Municipal Court will be relocated. That is on your agenda tonight. Once that is approved, we will be going right into tenant improvement mode to get those spaces ready for our court. We are anticipating being operational there at Newcastle City Hall the first week in January. We have been temporarily at the City of Kirkland court facilities. We are also in the process of moving out of City Hall. We had a big move out last week, allowed staff in to get their personal belongings. We had our records team working on boxing up records. So that work will be ongoing over the next several months, but we just wanted to make you aware. Of course, the temperatures dropped last week. We don't have heat in the building, so everybody was moving out in the freezing cold, but we're making progress on a lot of fronts. So thank you to everyone for your patience and flexibility during this time of pretty great transition. Okay. Now that Casey and I are synced up again, thank you, Casey. Council, your next meeting is Tuesday, November 21st. I am 100% certain that meeting will still be virtual. So we'll plan on this format again. We do have, in terms of boards and commission meetings, the Planning Commission is on deck next November 15th. Just a reminder for anybody that's watching the meeting this evening, all of our public meetings, council meetings, board and commission meetings information is published on our website. Next slide. Okay, handful of project updates. It's really getting exciting out of the bike skills area. We are in the final week of construction and anticipating a grand opening on November 15th, provided that Mother Nature cooperates and doesn't pour 2 inches of rain on us that day. I hope I didn't just jinx it. Last weekend, we had a group of volunteers out at the site constructing what was left of the split rail boundary fence. And early this week, we'll be doing additional site cleanup. We have all the kind of last housekeeping items to take care of, including signage installation. So that work is on its way. So mark on your calendars November 15th for the grand opening. We'll keep you posted and hope for good weather. Next slide. Speaking of Mother Nature, I wanted to give a huge shout out to our maintenance teams. They have been working just around the clock the last couple of weeks, dealing with a variety of weather issues, including Saturday's pretty wild rainstorm. And I will say they were supported. We had our fire crews and police crews out also trying to unplug drains. I know I've fielded some questions. Aren't we cleaning up the leaves? Yes, as fast as we possibly can. But when you've got wind and rain all happening at once, we had a lot of blocked drains and a lot of local flooding. So we made it through Saturday. That was quite an event. Thank you again to our staff teams and the community members that were out also helping us get those drains cleared. We have lots of other work happening right now, weather related. Our utility teams working on root control to clear roots from inside our sewer pipes. The right-of-way team is clearing tree debris. They did a tree removal at Merrimount Drive and lots of storm work. And of course, the stormwater team is conducting inspections and working in our catch basin. So a lot happening. Maintenance teams are really busy, and thanks again to them. Water system improvements. If you've been over in the East Seattle neighborhood, I'm pleased to report that the water line replacement on 60th Avenue is ongoing. They did a great job, by the way. That's over in my neighborhood, and we had an opportunity to walk and trick-or-treat along that street, and everything was buttoned up and safe for all the trick-or-treaters. So I appreciate the attention to detail the construction crews are giving for just neighborhood events and such. They have already installed close to 1,000 feet of pipe. Lots going on in this neighborhood, narrow roads, lots of other underground utilities to contend with. So our crews are going to continue to work 5 days a week, making the most of the daylight we have this time of year. Once they're done on 60th, the second phase of the project will be moving up 2 blocks onto 62nd. Next slide. All right, one upcoming event I wanted to make you aware of. The Chamber of Commerce is kicking off small business season, which runs November 1st to December 31st. They're running a fun little event, Thankful for Local Bingo. If you'd like to participate, you can pick up a bingo card and get more information on the Chamber's website, and then you collect your stamps by visiting all of the businesses and submit your bingo card for a local drawing. You may have also noticed that the lights are going up in Town Center, so we'll be lighting up our Town Center for the next couple of months. Happy holidays. All right, next slide. Some good news just to round out the presentation this evening tonight. I wanted to mention that we had a successful drug take-back event on October 28th. Our Youth and Family Services staff, along with the police department, partnered with the Drug Enforcement Administration for one of our twice-a-year drug take-back programs. We collected 5 boxes of unused and unwanted prescriptions and other medicines. You can see that in the photo there. A total collection was 79 pounds. So thank you to our teams for coordinating the event. We had to make a few logistics changes because City Hall was closed, but it all worked out. We also had a fantastic opening of the Luther Burbank South Shoreline Trail and volunteer event on October 21st. We had over 50 community volunteers who were out celebrating Arbor Day and helping us plant the areas adjacent to the new trail. Over 600 native plants went in. We also want to give a shout out to Pagliacci for donating the lunch. We will have many restoration opportunities ongoing at Luther Burbank. We keep all that information posted on our website. Again, thank you to the many amazing volunteers, and I know many of the council members were out that day too. Next slide. And finally, to round out the presentation tonight, just a big thank you to everybody, businesses, community members, families, staff, council that supported our Hello Weekend fun. We had staff carving pumpkins for the pumpkin walk. Town Center was just hopping on that Friday night for trick or treat. We had our fire station. That's the photo in that's the picture there on the slide. Fire Station 92 got all decked out for trick-or-treaters on the south end. And then we had a really great pumpkin walk at Mercerdale Park. I hear we had over 200 pumpkins lining the walking path. And I didn't get a final count of the number of people that showed up, but I was out there. It looked like it was pretty packed for several hours. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to our Parks and Recreation team for a great Halloween weekend. All right, that is all I have this evening.
Very good. Thank you. Our next item of business is appearances. This is an opportunity for anyone to speak to council on any item. Tonight's agenda will include in-person public appearances and remote public appearances via Zoom. Individuals wishing to address the council may do so in person or by Zoom or telephone, provided they register with the city clerk by 4 p.m. today. When it's your turn to speak, you'll be called by name. Remarks must be addressed to the council as a whole and not to individual council or staff members. Any person making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks who becomes boisterous, threatening, or personally abusive while addressing the council may be requested by the mayor to leave the meeting. As it's election season, please be reminded that state law, specifically RCW 42.17a.555, prohibits the use of city facilities for campaign-related purposes with limited exceptions. Accordingly, please do not make campaign-related comments during this time. Please speak audibly, state your name and city of residence for the record. There'll be a timer on the screen. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. When your time is ended, I'll thank you for your comments and move to the next speaker or item of business. City Clerk, please call the first speaker.
First speaker tonight is Brian Candelori.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Candelori. I'm the regional manager. I'm a regional manager at King County Library System, and Mercer Island is one of the ones that I have the pleasure of helping run. So we just wanted to give a few quick updates, and then I'll let you guys get back to your, it sounds much more exciting electoral conversations. So we have a lot of really great story times coming up. If anyone is looking to get involved in that, we have a little bit of room, but we really encourage you to come out. Our chess program is going really well. So thank you to all of you and the residents of Mercer Island for coming out and supporting us. And we have I don't know if it's possible to share. I can send it to Ryan or whoever needs to get it. But we have a patron satisfaction survey that we're collecting data from to figure out how we want to move forward in terms of hours, et cetera. What was previously called Banned Book Week, we now, as a profession, have decided to call the Freedom to Read. So if you go to your local library at Mercer Island, you'll see a bunch of books that have been challenged for all spectrums of the aisle. And we want to continue to help serve and serve the folks of Mercer Island. So if there's a way for me to send that, I can send it to Ryan. Is that the best way to do it, Mayor? Is it Nice?
Yeah, you can, the clerk will sort you out. She's got your email, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, great. And thank you. I think I yield back, right? Is that how this works?
It'd be an honor to have the minutes back. Thank you for
Yes,
joining.
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Our next speaker tonight, Mr. Mayor, is Alyssa Campbell.
And I'm also going to ask you to turn on the okay. You got that. This one right here. Yep. Oh, this. I'm back. Now you're right. Go ahead. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to join you this evening. My name is Alyssa Campbell. I'm the Waste Area Manager at Recology King County. So you may know us by our garbage trucks that come by and pick up your trash and recycle and your compost. We also like to do outreach in the city. So just a quick update on how things have been going this year. I know we're closing up pretty soon here. It's crazy how fast time flies. But this year in Mercer Island, we were happy to go to the Leap for Green fair that you had in April. We went to the summer celebration as well in the summertime, and then we were also at your farmers markets a few times. We loved coming out to the city and connecting with everybody in the community. Beyond that, we were out at multifamily properties providing education and outreach for reducing contamination and encouraging people to divert waste from the landfill. So not only do we do that at multifamily properties, but also at commercial properties. So we provide signage and any kind of advice that people need. Continuing to work with the city to reduce contamination and use our driver feedback and our waste zero team feedback on what they see in people's recycling bins. So that's multifamily and commercial properties specifically. And something else I just wanted to bring up as far as events that we have going on soon that maybe Mercer Island residents would be interested in is our Rethink Your Wrap workshops at our ecology store. So the closest one to you all is the one in Issaquah. You may have been there. It's located in Gilman Village. And the gift wrapping workshop will be on December 9th. So I encourage you all to go. It's a Furoshiki workshop, so you can learn how to wrap gifts with cloth. So it's a waste zero way to do that. And just as a reminder too, the Recology store is a great space to reduce your waste by taking your styrofoam, your textiles, propane cans, and lots of different things to keep them from the landfill and dispose of them so that they get recycled. You can also pay your bill at the Recology store. Just a quick reminder, it's a great thing, great option if you'd like to do that. And then also, as it's the gift giving and receiving season, lots of great options for people to reduce waste, kind of encourage people in your life with fun ways to reduce waste by using the Recology store. And with that, I appreciate all of your time and I will yield back to you all.
Very good. Thank you. City Clerk, do we have anybody else?
There are no further speakers tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We now move to our next item of business, which is approval of a consent agenda. Consent agenda contains AB 6366, October 20, 2023 payroll certification, certification of claims for October 13, 20, and 27, 2023, City Council meeting minutes of October 17, 2023, regular hybrid meeting, AB 6358, Shop Small Month Proclamation number 319, AB 6362, interlocal agreement and lease with City of Newcastle for municipal court operation, AB 6367, second reading and adoption of stormwater management program amendments, ordinance number 23C-14, AB 6368, Arch 2024 work program and budget approval, AB 6371, approval of 2024 legislative priorities. Council, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Anderall, seconded by Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum.
Aye.
Councilmember Weinberg.
Aye.
Councilmember Weicker.
Aye.
Councilmember Anderall.
Aye.
Mayor Neese.
Aye.
Councilmember Jacobson.
Aye.
And Councilmember Reynolds.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Consent agenda passes. We move to our first item of regular business, AB 6363, an ordinance amending MICC Chapter 9.50, first reading of ordinance number 23C-16, for which we welcome Eileen Kiefer from Madrona Law. Welcome, Eileen.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have a brief set of slides tonight on AB 6363. Okay, you able to see the slides?
Sure can.
Thank you. Okay, so tonight we bring AB 6363 before you for a first reading. This is an ordinance updating Mercer Island City Code Chapter 9.50. This chapter of the Mercer Island City Code incorporates certain revised Code of Washington statutes by reference into the Mercer Island City Code. It is a criminal portion of the Mercer Island City Code. The purpose of the chapter is to allow the city's prosecutor to charge certain crimes in order to be heard by the Mercer Island Municipal Court. These are misdemeanor crimes. I will note too that with respect to this particular ordinance, this is a prosecution heavy ordinance. So when we were drafting it, we consulted really heavily with Blakely, your Mercer Island City prosecutor, to make sure that the code updates that we were proposing were what she needs with respect to her charging tools. And the impetus behind this ordinance was the seminal case of State v. Blake in 2021. Council will probably recognize this case name. Like I said, this was a seminal decision by the Washington Supreme Court. What it did was it invalidated the state's strict liability drug possession statute. Pre-Blake case, it didn't matter if you knew that the drugs were on you. If you simply possessed drugs without knowing, without intending to, that was enough to get you a felony conviction. The Washington Supreme Court ruled that that was unconstitutional back in 2021, generating quite a bit of flurry of legislative activity. In order to fix essentially the issue that the Blake ruling created, the legislature did enact a temporary fix in 2021, but that fix was short-lived. It was only set to be valid for 2 years and had an expiration date in the middle of 2023. And so thus in May of this year, the legislature adopted a permanent Blake fix bill. The RCW provisions, at least some of them affected by the permanent Blake fix bills, are the ones shown on your screen here: RCW 6950, 4011, 4013, and 4014. All of these were amended by the permanent Blake fix bill, but the MICC chapter 9.50 did not incorporate any of these provisions by reference. Again, remember that possession was charged as a felony prior to the Blake decision, and now under the permanent Blake fix bill, possession is generally a gross misdemeanor. So these provisions are necessary to be adopted under the Mercer Island City Code in order to be prosecuted by the Mercer Island City prosecutor in the Mercer Island Municipal Court. Councilmember Reynolds, I see you've got a question. Mayor Neese, do you want to wait until the end, or?
I can wait till the end. I was just marking the spot.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. And so as we were constructing the Blake fix bill cleanup to the Mercer Island City Code, we realized this chapter of the Mercer Island City Code has been untouched essentially since 1998. And like I said earlier, this code adopts many RCW provisions by reference. So as you would imagine, the legislature has changed a lot of things since 1998. Some of the RCW provisions mentioned in the code have been repealed or recodified. So what we did as part of this exercise was take out provisions that had been repealed, insert provisions that had been recodified, and then rename to RCW provisions whose titles may have changed in order to modernize and update the Mercer Island City Code. Finally, I just want to talk about why it's important that council adopts this particular ordinance. Because if the city council does not adopt the proposed edits to the Mercer Island City Code required by the Blake fix legislation, those types of crimes cannot be charged in Mercer Island Municipal Court. So citations for illegal drug possession and use would then have to be made to King County District Court. And right now, Mercer Island does not have a prosecution agreement with the King County Prosecutor's Office. And in fact, I believe Chief Holmes has conferred with King County Prosecutor's Office and found out that they have quite the backlog of misdemeanors. And so even if the city were to get a prosecution agreement with King County Prosecutor's Office, there's no guarantee that these types of crimes would be charged either timely, and then sometimes maybe these wouldn't even be filed at all. And staff is recommending that this item be set for consent agenda on the council's regular meeting on November 21st. With that, I'm happy to answer questions. And I'll note too, I've got a couple of folks from the Mercer Island Police Department here in case any of those questions are more appropriate for them.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilmember Reynolds.
My question was answered. Thank you.
Imagine that.
It happens.
Eileen is generally very thorough, so to be expected. Council, are there any other questions? No. All right. Council may I have a motion to set ordinance number 23C-16 for second reading and adoption on November 21, 2023 City Council meeting.
So moved.
It was moved by
Second.
Councilmember Reynolds, seconded by Councilmember Weicker. Thank you. Any discussion?
Actually, it was not me that moved it. I was on mute. I would have, but somebody beat me to it. I think it might have been Weinberg. Not sure.
Who was it? Was it you, Weinberg?
I think it was my voice, but there are three of us at once, so whoever.
All right, I'll give it to you. Councilmember Weinberg moved it, seconded by Councilmember Weicker. Councilmember Weicker.
Yeah, I just want to thank Eileen and staff for bringing us up to date. This has been kind of a tough issue for years and really appreciate you getting this done.
All right. Any other discussion? Not seeing any. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Reynolds,
Hi.
Mayor Neese,
All right.
Councilmember Weinberg,
Aye.
Councilmember Andral,
Aye.
Councilmember Weicker,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum,
Aye.
and Councilmember Jacobson.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Motion passes. Our next item of regular business is AB 6365, Code Amendments related to the City Fire Department, first reading of ordinance number 23C-17, which we again welcome Eileen Kiefer.
Thank you again, Mayor, Council. With respect to ordinance number 23C-17, we are bringing another sort of cleanup type ordinance. As council is well aware, back in July of this year, you all approved resolution 1645, authorizing execution of an ILA between the city and Eastside Fire and Rescue for the provision of fire and emergency medical services. And that is to begin on January 1st, 2024. Accordingly, there are certain code updates that are required. The biggest ones are to Chapter 3.32 of the Mercer Island City Code, which establishes an in-house fire department. And so code updates were needed to reflect that the city has gotten out of the business of providing fire and emergency medical services. So this ordinance would do that. It would also make changes to just small cleanup changes to Chapter 3.30, Civil Service Commission, and then Mercer Island sections 4.40-100, Firemen's Relief and Pension System, and section 3.36.030, membership of the Civil Service Commission, just again to reflect that the city is getting out of the business of providing fire and emergency medical services. And I don't, as you've noticed, I do not have slides for this, but I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Council, any questions? Not seeing any. May I have a motion to set ordinance number 23C-17 for second reading and adoption on November 21, 2023 City Council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Jacobson, seconded by Councilmember Reynolds. Any discussion? Not seeing any. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum,
Aye.
Councilmember Reynolds,
Aye.
Councilmember Weinberg,
Aye.
Mayor Neese,
Aye.
Councilmember Jacobson,
Aye.
Councilmember Andral,
Aye.
and Councilmember Weicker.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Motion passes. Our next item of regular business is AB 6354, King County Solid Waste Rate Restructure, and we'll welcome Chief of Operations, Jason Kidner. Welcome, Jason.
Good evening, Council. The purpose of this evening's agenda item is to address the required rate adjustment triggered by the King County Rate Disposal Fee Adjustment and Restructure. So with us this evening is Jeanette Jurgensen from Been There Consulting to walk us through the amendment to the Recology contract. Jeanette?
Thank you so much. Good evening, council and staff.
As mentioned, the purpose of tonight's meeting is to present the contract amendment with Recology in order to allow the King County rate restructure. King County Solid Waste Division receives most of its revenue from the per ton tipping fees. In order to cover non-disposal related costs, such as waste reduction and recycling, King County is moving to a utility model starting in January. This new model reduces the tipping fee and creates a new fixed annual charge per city. This is expected to stabilize their revenue and the create funding source for waste reduction and recycling programs as their tonnage decreases and people reduce more waste. This rate restructure is allowed to occur under the city-county interlocal agreement. So currently under your contract, customer rates are adjusted in 3 ways. The first is the service component, which is adjusted by CPI each year. The disposal component, which is adjusted by the King County tipping fees, and the commodity credit. The current contract does not allow the collection of this fixed annual charge from customers, so we need to amend the contract in order for that to occur. Cities have worked with their haulers to agree on how to distribute this fixed annual charge across the customer base. In this case, in your proposed amendment, they're using a capacity-based model, which is found to be the most equitable across your customers. And all Recology cities have the same model. Because the hauler will never be able to collect the exact amount of the fixed annual charge due to changing of accounts and customers, a reconciliation mechanism was added to mitigate any over collection or under collection. In your packet is the full calculations. I'd be happy to answer any questions on those after this presentation, but I'll go over a very high level of these calculations. The county assigns a fixed annual charge based upon the garbage contribution for each city. So for example, in 2024, the county is collecting $22.6 million in the fixed annual charge. Mercer Island contributes about 4.9% of the garbage across the county. So your fixed annual charge would become $223,000 roughly. This fixed annual charge is charged to customers based upon the garbage capacity. So somebody with a 32-gallon can is going to pay half what somebody with a 64-gallon can. So again, we're trying to make this as equitable as possible for customers. Recology will reconcile the fixed annual charge payments from customers against what they've paid to the county. And then any over collection or under collection will be carried forward to future rates. So Recology will not be collecting any extra money as a result of this rate restructure. In the last year of the contract, slightly more fixed annual charge will be collected in order to make sure Recology meets the fixed annual charge required by the county. Any extra funds will be given to the city. And these are expected to be very, very small amounts. By the time you get to the end of your contract, we're going to know a lot more data about how close these numbers are. So we're expecting it just to be pennies per residential customer that might be over collected. For your rate adjustment between 23 and 24, I have a graph, and I hope everyone can see this. The font is very small. But your service component, which is this blue, has increased by 5%. The actual CPI is 6.55%, but your contract caps it at 5%. So we see that increase. The tipping fee, which is this light blue, is going to decrease by 10.6%. So that's the reduction in the tipping fee as a result of this fixed annual charge. The dark blue at the top represents the fixed annual charge. And then at the bottom, you'll notice a decrease from 23 to 24 in the commodity credit. That's mostly due to the decrease in the value of plastics that are being collected. And here's a comparison of the rates. So again, for the 32-gallon can customer, they're currently paying $35.08 a month. That will be going up slightly to $36.17, plus the new fixed annual charge, making the total monthly charge $37.21. And this is before the required state taxes. The fixed annual charge will be added as a line item to Recology customer bills. This will be different than some of the other haulers. but Recology is going to include messaging on their annual mailer, their bills, their website, social media to tell customers about this charge and put a link to the county's website, which has more information about it. So the recommendation is to authorize the city manager to sign the contract amendment. Does anyone have any questions?
Very good. If we can stop the screen share, perfect. Thank you. All right, first question to Councilmember Reynolds.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the fixed annual fee, the 233,000. How fixed is that fixed? Because as I look at Mercer Island with fixed borders and slow population growth relative to, say, Bellevue, as they grow, or they and start producing more trash than us, or even more so, more than what they are now, will that rate be adjusted?
Thank you. That's a great question. The county will set a fixed annual charge per city each year based upon prior tonnage. So the 2024 rate is based upon your contribution in 2022. And then your 2025 will be based upon your 2023 contribution and what they've set their overall fixed annual charge at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Anderl.
Yeah, thanks for that presentation, Jeanette. We had a question from a constituent about why, if the tipping fee is going down, the fees overall are not going down on the monthly garbage rate, absent the fixed annual charge. And I'm guessing the answer is that component did go down, but it was exceeded by the consumer price index increase. Is that right?
Yes, council member. And I can give an example. I'll screen share and pull this up really quick. So this is for the most common garbage can size. This is for the 32-gallon garbage. You can see the CPI went up, but the tipping fee went down overall, that change. And we also have a decrease in the commodity credit. So people are receiving a smaller credit than they were last year.
Okay, I saw the commodity credit thing. I didn't see that decrease from 701 to 626. So that answers that. Thank you very much.
Certainly. Thank you, council member.
Thank you. Councilmember Jacobson. You're on mute, Jake. You're on mute. There you go.
The fixed annual charge of $1.04. Is that fixed charge the same for a 32-ounce can as it is for a 20-ounce can?
No, it will vary based upon the capacity of the container and the collection frequency. So for example, I'll pull up the exact rate for you. So a 20-gallon can will pay 61 cents a month, and a 32-gallon garbage can will pay $1.04 a month for the customers of those container sizes.
Okay, so it varies on size.
Yes, sir.
Or capacity, I guess, a better way to put it.
Yes.
I'm going to take a quick stab at this. Can you tell me on the commodity credit and the CPI, the CPI is capped at 5%. Does the commodity credit apply to the 5% cap, or does it apply before the 5% cap, or where does the contract specify that that's applied?
It is applied after the CPI adjustment. So each year the rates will have the service component adjusted by CPI, the disposal component adjusted by the tipping fee, and then there'll be a commodity adjustment to create the final rate. And then the fixed annual charge will be a separate line item.
Okay, so they hit the 5% cap before the commodity adjustment was applied.
Yes, Mayor.
Very good. Council, any other questions? Okay. Not seeing any questions. May I have a motion to authorize the city manager to sign contract amendment number 1 to the 2019 through 2029 comprehensive garbage recyclables and compostables collection service contract between the city of Mercer Island and Recology King County, Inc., substantially in the form attached to as Exhibit 2 to AB 6354.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilmember Jacobson, seconded by Councilmember Weinberg. Any discussion? Okay, City Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Jacobson.
Aye.
Councilmember Weicker.
Aye.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Aye.
Mayor Neese.
Aye.
Councilmember Weinberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum.
Aye. And Councilmember Andrew.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Motion passes. Thank you. We now move to other business and planning schedule, for which we welcome back City Manager Jesse Bond.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, just looking ahead as we head towards the end of 2023, I don't have any updates on the November 21st or December 5th meeting. And I did want to let you know, as of right now, we're going to be recommending you cancel the December 19th meeting, but let's hold off on a motion for that until probably the first meeting in December, just to make sure. And that's all I have on the schedule this evening.
Perfect. Council, are there any upcoming absences to report? Nope. All right, we'll move to council member reports. Councilmember Anderall, anything to report?
No, thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Jacobson?
Nothing to report.
Very good. I have nothing to report. Councilmember Reynolds?
Nothing to report. Oh, wait, I do have one quick thing. I apologize. Just a personal note. I want to send a shout out to my daughter for giving birth to my first grandchild, which happened early this morning. A very exciting day for us for two reasons, but that is one.
I was gonna mention that if you didn't. So congratulations.
Okay. It slipped my mind entirely for a minute there. I'm not quite sure how that happened.
Lack of sleep will do that.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rosenbaum.
Nothing. We have a PIC meeting tomorrow night. We'll talk about the upcoming legislative session, but congratulations to Councilman Reynolds on becoming a grandfather and apparently forgetting something right after that.
Councilmember Weicker.
There are a couple events coming up. There's the SCA dinner on December 6th. It's the annual meeting. I think it'd be great to get a delegation there. And then the Seattle Chamber is having an electeds reception on the 7th of December. So 2 nights in a row, you can go hang out with our colleagues in the region. Talk shop.
Councilmember Weinberg.
So the Mercer Island Arts Council met on October 25th, and the council nominated and unanimously elected their chair and vice chairs. And the staff's proposed rewrite of the Arts Council bylaws was pulled from the agenda. So the Arts Council focused its time on deliberating the aspects of the Luther Burbank waterfront project's art installation, and reached a consensus to approve the medallion designs and include the addition of ornaments to the waterfront lamppost and decals to the side of the boiler building.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. The next hybrid meeting of the City Council is scheduled for Tuesday, November 21, 2023 at 5 p.m. The time is now 5:58 p.m. The City Council will go into executive session for approximately 30 minutes to discuss with legal counsel litigation or potential litigation to which the city is or is likely to become a party pursuant to RCW 42.30.110, paren 1, close paren, little I, close paren. No action will be taken following the executive session. As a reminder to City Council, please stay seated until the City Council has terminated the broadcast. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight.